Hi, it's Nadine Terman here on January 6th. Today we're going to talk about some staples. You probably know that Costco reported better December sales than expected, so 7.3% versus 5.7%. Strong traffic, so up 4.6% month over month, and ticket growth up 2.8% ex-gas. Customers are buying Kirkland. We're probably not alone. You're probably not alone with you got something over the holidays and they're walking through their stores. They're probably going to have tough comps, though, especially if we get into a period of disinflation. Also, we have to note on their reporting that there was one extra day before Christmas than usual, and it was a Saturday. So the read-through that we just got this morning may not be as strong as investors are pricing in today. With that, when we're talking about Costco, we have to talk about Walmart and Target too. So remember, back in November, Walmart reported solid top-line trends and an acceleration of traffic. They've gained share in grocery and showed strength in private label. Again, no surprise, as well as customer trade down. So getting that 100 grand plus type of consumer to come to Walmart. Sam's Club was strong as well, inventory approved, and they raised their fiscal year 22 guidance. At the same time, Target had a third quarter miss and brought down guidance. Remember, they had markdown pressures, inventories were still strong and high, but they had unit share gains in all categories, and they may be a beneficiary of Bed Bath & Beyond store closures. We talked a little bit about that in our Longbow arrows yesterday. They also might have easier comps for 2023, though. So if we're thinking about Costco, Walmart, and Target, you have to look at the fundamentals. You have to look at the setup for the year. So let's separate that out and then get to the technicals. Because you also, remember we talked about three things. What's the macro? What's the fundamental? What's the tactical? What are the technicals there? That's the third part. So we're going to head over to Longbow and take a look at these three different securities, as well as the Staples ETF XLP. So we'll come back to the Staples ETF here at the top at the end. But let's talk about Costco, who is reporting numbers today. So what do we see here? This is for the 3-month period, the trading range. Is it was bullish form, and then it's been a bearish form. Obviously the band has been narrowing, and then because they've reported better than expected, you see this huge pop-up. So from that standpoint, today it's overbought. So the white line, so the stock price, is ahead of the red line, which is the upper boundary of the trading range. And we're looking at it short-term bearish, medium-term bearish for the momentum indicator. So we would be cautious. And if you're trading Costco today, you might want to consider taking a little bit off the table. So let's look at that one first. And then secondarily, Walmart, right? They've been on a more upward trend. So when you look at, they're again overbought today because people are extrapolating from Costco to Walmart. And you can look at the trading range. They're an implied volatility premium of almost 30%, which means that maybe this could take a little bit run further. But again, they're overbought on their trading range. It has been a downward trajectory similar to Costco, but not as badly. And when we're looking at the momentum indicator, on the short term, it's been bearish, but on the intermediate term, and you can kind of see that here, it has been neutral to almost bullish if this keeps going. So when you're thinking about the two from a technical perspective, we have to care that they're overbought, but one does look like it's having a better setup. So remember, we had bearish, bearish, and then bearish, neutral. And then again with Costco, it has a implied volatility premium of 0 versus almost 30% for Walmart. So Walmart, again, you would probably want to trim it if you're trading it, but if you're going to buy back into it, this one does look like the better setup. And now let's look at Target. We talked about the miss back in November. It's also overbought for those two things we mentioned. One, a read-through in Costco, but then secondarily, the thought about being a beneficiary of Bed Bath & Beyond because their stores are closer to where Bed Bath & Beyond stores would be that would be closing. And this one's been a bit more of a wild ride. They're neutral, though, here on the short term, bearish on the intermediate term, but again, overbought. This one has a better fundamental setup, which we happen to know. But again, separating out, we're looking at technicals. They're all three overbought. This one has a neutral short term, but bearish intermediate term. So you might want to be looking at this if you're, paying close attention. If this were to turn from neutral to bullish, that could be a sign that maybe they're turning the corner. And again, here you have over 20% implied volatility premium. So a better setup, people were more worried about these two than they were about Costco. So this seems to be a little bit more consensus play. And then if we're going to look over here, I'm going to scroll to the right, which you can always do, and take a look at what's been the short interest. It's pretty small for all three of these. So if you're thinking about holding them, other people are not going against you. So that could put a little bit pressure if there's any negative news, and obviously you're being overbought. But where are they being short? It looks like a lot of people have been either protecting these names or other names through the XLP. That is a high short interest ratio, over 15%. So they've been using the ETF for protection, but that again is overbought today. So there could be a short squeeze going on. We'll have to see. But obviously, if you look at the constituents of the XLP, you have other names in it, but also Walmart's in it, also Costco's in it. You have Procter & Gamble, other kind of names, but it's no surprise that this would be overbought on a day like today. But this has a bearish short term, but a bullish intermediate term momentum. So you can see that right here. It's pretty strong. So we'd be careful using this as a short. If you're thinking about protecting your Costco, Walmart, or Target names today, this would not be the security to do it. In fact, if you're short on this one, we'd also be careful about keeping this short on versus maybe choosing some single stock shorts to go against some longer names if you're holding them on the long side. That's it today. We wanted to talk about it because obviously it's been big in the news about Costco. People are probably wondering, well, what do I do? I might have some of these positions, or maybe I'm thinking going into it because you heard all the great news. Today's not the day to be going long in these names. Obviously, all of them are overbought. But that's how we would think about trading them, not the fundamentals, but trading them going forward. It's Nadine saying goodbye to you. Talk to you on Monday.